Hey guys, welcome to the planning video for March 2026. I'm going to be adding some things to my junk journal planner. I'm doing a little looking forward for the month of March. I'm filming this on March 2nd, and if you don't know already, I am going to be teaching a vision board workshop on March 7th. And you can grab your seat in the class. It will be a live class. That's on Saturday, March 7th. And if you want to join us, that link will be in the description and the show notes below. So make sure you get signed up. Even if you don't make the live class, the replay will always be available to you. So you see me right now adding to my junk journal planner for the month of February, which is over. But I always like to go back. Well, not always. This is something I've just started this year. But I'm going back and adding a little card, a journal card, with my monthly revenue goal for my business and what my actual monthly revenue was. And then I do a little bit of journaling about the month of February. I'm just creating a background on this page across from the month at a glance for February page, and I'm adding in some distress oxide sprays. This one is antique linen, and then I use the wilted violet oxide spray, and I'm just creating an interesting background. And since these are oxide sprays, they can be activated with water, so I'm just spraying a little bit of water here, and then we're going to dry the page just to create something interesting. I didn't really feel like doing much collage or anything else, but I wanted to add some color to the planner. So that's what I'm doing. And then I'm just blotting it with some paper towels as I'm drying, because I did spray quite a bit on there. And you can kind of see that oxidation happening or activating on the page. I did take a little bit of water, spritz it in my hand, and then flick it onto the page to create some more water droplet kind of oxidation marks. And then I continued drying the page. So once that's dry, totally, I am going to take the pocket that I made, which is just some music paper, glued it down onto a piece of packaging to make a more sturdy pocket, because this is a vintage music paper that I'm using. So I glued it onto a piece of packaging and cut that out so it was had a little more structure. And then I'm going to take the pocket to my sewing machine, which is in the dining room right now because I've been doing some quilting. And I'm going to sew around the pocket before I glue it onto the page. I'm also trying out some collage fodder elements to kind of test them and see how I want it to look, because I wanted to use some of my collage fodder that I've made recently. At first, I thought making collage fodder that I would not like it, or that I wouldn't find ways to use it in my journaling. But recently, I've just been sitting in front of the TV, doodling on kind of scrap jelly print pages, and then cutting out collage fodder. And I've actually really enjoyed adding it to my collages, to my journaling. So I have like a little heart and an eye that I doodled and cut out that I'm going to collage onto the pocket. But first, like I said, I'm taking it to my sewing machine, and I did a zigzag stitch around the pocket. And once that's glued down, because the page in my journal is a little bit wonky, I used some clips to hold that pocket in place while the glue dries. And this is fast drying Fabri-Tac glue, so it dries quickly, but I wanted to make sure it stayed in place and it got glued well. I'm inking around the edges of the collage fodder before I glue it onto that pocket. And I really like how this ended up. It looks kind of quirky and weird, and I do love that. And February is mainly Aquarius season, so why not have something a little quirky and a little weird to represent my Aquarius sun. So, like I said, the month of February is already over, but I do like to go back and look at my revenue goal and see how far I got towards my revenue goal. It's been a tough couple of months for my business, so I did not meet my revenue goal for January or February. But I'm really hoping that March will be different. And my business tends to get a little bit busier during March and April each year. Even though I don't do taxes and I just do the bookkeeping, a lot of people need bookkeeping done because it is tax season and they have not done their books all year. So I find that I do end up getting more clients this time of year who need like cleanup jobs. I'm also adding some stenciling to the background of this page, and I really like how these stars turned out. I'm using this Distress Oxide ink pad in Wild Honey and just using that star stencil. I think it looks super cute. I'm using another stencil with that Coffee Recollections ink and just inking up the page a little bit to add a few more things to that background. Now I have ready-made journal tags that I use when I want to do a little bit of writing and adding something into my journal page. So I had this tag ready to go. I had this kind of paper twine sitting on my desk because packaging and stuff just collects on my craft desk anyways. So that was sitting there, and I decided to add it to the top of this tag. This tag has already been collaged on, it's already been sewed, it's already got stenciling on the back. So I went ahead and just did some journaling with my revenue goals, my actual monthly revenue, and a little blurb, a little write-up about the month of February for me, just as a way to kind of mark time and make a note of what went down in the month for me. So now we're going to move on to March, and I have used my vintage date stamp to stamp the dates for each day in March, but it takes too long to do the days in the month at a glance. And right now I am using my transit action report spreadsheet that my human design astrologist lady does for me. And I'm just making a note of some of the major transits in March because there are days where I do a lunar ritual. There are days that are kind of impacting my chart in different ways, and I like to make a note of that. And then at the beginning of every week, I go through and make a note of any appointments or any specific things that I want to be doing during the week. And this is also something I've started doing, which is adding a little sticker from one of these vintage flower sticker books that I got in a Grabby subscription box. And so I'm going to fussy cut that sticker out and add it to the page, and I think it just looks really cute. It adds to kind of the vintage vibe of the journal. I'm really looking forward to the vision board workshop. If you haven't signed up already for that, make sure that you click the link in the description. Get signed up. Thanks so much for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like, and leave me a comment letting me know. Do you use a junk journal for a planner? Do you look at astrological transits whenever you're planning your week or your month? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much, and I hope you have an amazing month of March.